He looks a little different. What the heck's the old man up to now? What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, and we've gone back to basics. Gone back to basics among some other things. It's also still daylight outside. You might get some motorcycle noise in the background or kids screaming outside if parents do the usual parenting thing and they're like, "Hey, kids, go outside. It's a nice day out. Go play outside. It's good for you." What they don't tell their kids is, "We're sick of all the noise. Go outside so we can have some quiet in this house." Come on, come on, come on. You know it's a thing. It comes with the turf with parents and kids and stuff. And if you don't have kids, remember how you were as a kid and use that as the basis for this kind of stuff. So what's going on? Going back to the old sunglasses here because whoops, I broke them. Cheap plastic rubbish. These things, of course, I always kept them on the boom arm, kind of like this, and I went to push them back, they fell off. And I guess they must have broken when they hit the floor or something. But, cheap plastic. I can probably go to Walmart and get something very similar to these to get something new going. I actually like them because of the whole blue color. More blue as opposed to blackout edition on these things. And blue is mostly in the frames. But the big thing I liked about these is that they're ambers. So they actually block the blue light from cranking the TV really high. So right now, through these things, everything looks like Smurf-a-vision, and it's darker than the way it normally is, because these are more like shades, and these are kind of like, these are more ambers, so they didn't darken things up as much as they warmed everything up a bit, blocked out some of the blue light from the TV, and things along those lines. Okay, we have a new YouTube subscriber to thank here, so MXRC, thank you for the YouTube sub. And we're going to get into some stuff tonight, which is obviously going to be a little different than the stuff we talked about last night, night shift last night, aka the wee hours of the morning earlier today. Earlier, you were talking about the YOLO economy and all this stuff people are talking about with regards to the way millennials are treating things like the job market and stuff. But we're going to get back to some more multimedia meta stuff right here, but not very much because I really don't have much to talk about. Let's be blunt, folks. My streaming is running on fumes. The only reason I'm here is because something popped up that I wanted to talk about. But were it not for this, we'd be doing some tech tinkering right now. And I can't blow off the tech tinkering indefinitely because I have even more tech tinkering now to do because I was on the phone with my ISP earlier. So the welcome to being a customer of ours package finally is done. And I'm paying regular price for the internet service that I have, but there's promos going on. There's promos going on where I could sample a even faster speed for less per month, even though I won't benefit from all the bandwidth, and I don't really need all that bandwidth. It would just be a way to lower the monthly bill for 6 months and then call back and see what's going on in 6 months from now. So once I see the bill spike back up, call in and see what's going on, and then maybe talk about a provisioning speed that is more in line with what it is I'm looking for. So here's the thing. Broadband is largely cable around here in this part of Connecticut. Frontier has a presence, but it's on obsolete AT&T equipment from back before AT&T got rid of their wireline stuff and went all wireless. And they're like, okay, we're out of this business then. Here, you take the old landline stuff. And Frontier is like, yeah, sure, we'll run it into the ground for you. There's plenty of jokes that you could tell about Frontier and the way they handle internet access, but yeah, we're not going to go there. It's beyond the scope of this discussion, especially what we want to talk about tonight. But the interesting thing is that cable used to be super expensive for technology that was about 2 to 3 times as good as phone-based internet around here. Then, of course, Frontier didn't invest in anything, so they fell woefully behind. So what they offered me and what they could still offer me, because I checked to see what they were offering these days, what they could offer me today would not allow me to stream. I'd be back to standard def 480 streaming because I'd only have one up, and if I tripped a Google speaker or something, it would lag the whole stream because the only thing they can do with their outdated equipment is one up. And unfortunately, that's not the direction the internet is moving in. With the rise of fiber, whether through private companies or through municipal fiber and stuff like that, you have the move towards more synchronous connections. There's Verizon Fios in Rhode Island, which would make a streamer jealous when you can buy 25-25, 50-50, or 75-75 instead of a woefully lopsided asynchronous cable connection when you just want to do things like play video games online and maybe do some live streaming. On Twitch, to do 1080-60, the bitrate is $6,000 max officially supported. I think you can go a little bit higher before they boot you offline for having a bitrate that's too high. YouTube is closer to 10K. Mixer, I think, almost got up to 12K. But 1080-60 on YouTube, max official bitrate is about $9,000. So the ISP had 50 and 6 for their cheapo internet package. Then they had 250-20 a year ago, which is what I ultimately wound up with. And now there is a tier in the middle that is being sold independent of bundles with like TV service or something that is 110. The 10 up would fit with the YouTube streaming unless there wasn't enough overhead from that last megabit of upload bandwidth. Plus, these people aren't too tightly wrenched on it. So if you sign up for like 20 up, you might get like 21 up or something like that. You might get an extra one just for the hell of it. I don't know. It's just they've never been this service has never been as tightly wrenched as the Frontier and AT&T stuff was. So I wouldn't be surprised if I did 110 and got like 11 up or something, and then those 2 megs up, could handle all the overhead versus the 9 megs being used for a 1080-60 YouTube stream. And of course, a 1080-30 stream on YouTube, like what I'm doing right now, is a standard 6. So just got some things to think about and things like that. But I'm just wondering, how does this ISP make any money except for making money off of people that are not constantly calling them back asking for promos? So either way, my next tech project, and probably the most important tech project now, is to try and fix the power line bottleneck in my home network to see if I can get more of the bandwidth for this sort of thing. But I don't know if I have to wait on this deal that's currently out there to get a faster internet speed with faster upload bandwidth for 6 months for less than the regular price of the tier that I want. So I'm actually going to have to, I'll probably call and take the deal. If they can upgrade my provisioning speed without buying another modem, I'd sign up for that. But I'll be on the phone again in 6 months. So it's one of those things where, I don't know, is this how they do it? Where they make money off of people that aren't on top of this kind of stuff? Because I'll tell you, when your internet doubles in price because your promo has expired, you notice it. When you get the notification of an upcoming payment and it's like, boom, and you're like, whoa, I guess the promo expired. Yeah, you notice it. So I don't know how exactly these people are going to do what they're going to, how do they do what they do? I mean, you basically have to not be paying attention in order to actually end up paying regular price if this is the way they're going to operate. Because I start out with, welcome to our service. That was good for about a year. That just expired. So if I take this, I get even more. I can't use all the download bandwidth without spaghetti cabling directly to my router. So I'd have to run wires loose across the house in order to get that speed, which I don't want to do. So I gotta just take a look at that, and I gotta try and yeah, I have to take a look at that. I gotta find a way. See if, well, here's the thing: during the pandemic shutdown during the lockdowns last year, I upgraded the power line components to be able to get most of the to be able to get the better part of 100 down through power line. But power line is heavily restricted by your house wiring and stuff. But I didn't buy the top of the line stuff. So I'm curious, if I buy the top of the line power line link, which I can already, buying better power line links has gotten me better speeds up and down on the local area network side of this. If I buy the top of the line option, the top of the line offering from TP-Link or whoever these days, how much bandwidth can I get from that? And then that will set what it is that I want to do. I think based on the way things are right now, what I'll do is I'll call about promos every so often if I'm stuck paying regular price. And then I might spring for the promo and then just be constantly getting ready to call customer service and engage in the verbal sumo wrestling required to go back to the tier that actually does all that I need it to do without costing an arm and a leg. The problem with American ISPs is there's a very heavy push for what's called ARPU, average revenue per user. And ISPs want you to buy more and more stuff that you may not have use for. And they may get you to buy, they want you to buy more and more stuff that you may not actually have a use for, and they want you to buy services you might not be using. So that way the average monthly revenue per user goes up. So in my case, I have the hard numbers. Hard numbers are very good for breaking through people's sales pitches. So I know what my bandwidth requirements are to do streaming, and hopefully I don't disappoint any more sales reps from these folks, because when I first went to sign up for this stuff, I almost canceled it because I had some really hard selling sales lady trying to get me to buy gigabit service when I know full well I don't have the equipment to handle gigabit, not in this house. I'd actually have to upgrade routers to get gigabit service. We're talking more really expensive routers for mostly one computer and maybe some phones getting updates every so often, but not some really heavy usage aside from the main computer system. Seriously. So that's my next tech project, and one of the big reasons why I have to get back to videos. I need to find out what exactly should I go for in terms of speed, get the equipment as good as it can go, and then figure out how I'm going to handle calling the ISP when promos expire to go back to the tier at normal price that I actually want until another promo comes up. And I will stay on top of that because I get email notifications before bills are paid. So when I see the cost of internet spike, that's my cue. Get on the phone and see what's going on nowadays. So I'm guessing these people make their money off of people that don't follow this stuff, and they let things lapse, and next thing you know, they're paying like $100 a month for internet they barely use. Maybe some even more, like close to like $200 a month for maybe cable they don't have a lot of time to watch. And of course, they want telephone service because for some reason they don't have a smartphone. I don't know. Just ISPs. American ISP blue stuff and all that lovely stuff. Let's fire up some music. Let's get into the discussion. That is the reason why we are here today, because there's some things that are going on with regards to the YouTube channel, with regards to Twitch, and with regards to everything else. Just let me check in on one thing. Let me just go check in on one thing with my page here. And let's just do some clicky and do some other things. Make sure everything's running all right. Enjoy that download bandwidth that I don't get much of a chance to use. All right, let's close that out. Let's see. How are we doing with our levels today? Yeah, everything's where it's supposed to be, so let's get it right in the headset and let's get going with some things. So, we have something we need to talk about with regards to this content creation stuff. So today, there was yet another braggadocious post about YouTube grows your stream. This idea of using YouTube as a means to an end has been dashed against the rocks. Sorry. The game is over. Folks, those of you folks who want to use YouTube as a stepping stone instead of taking YouTube seriously as a platform, I can't make it any more plain than this. You were wrong and you lost. Look. If you want to say these nice things about YouTube, that's an admission that YouTube is better than Twitch. And we know that YouTube's better than Twitch. They have stronger technology. You know, there's a couple of cosmetic things that Twitch still does better, but what would you rather have a platform be better at? Cosmetic fluff or something that's actually going to help you out? What's it gonna take? Seriously. It's appalling. But there's one very important thing that I think that nobody wants to talk about here, and that is this. The length of your content has as much to do with any of this as your platform. Now, platforms have technology, they have initiatives, they have things that are supposed to help their creators out, and those things work in varying amounts. But fundamentally, when the platform does its job, and what you're doing is introduced to someone else, aka another human being, what does that person do? What does that person think of you? How much as a person do they watch? Do they come back to watch more? And what would affect any of those things? Before going live, I found another Quicko flick that I thought would be good to send through the YouTube Shorts system. So I converted it over. We'll see when the algorithms pick it up. They've been pretty quick with YouTube Shorts. Unless being exactly 1 minute long, it's too long to go through the Shorts system. We'll see how it does views-wise. I'm also squaring off YouTube versus TikTok on this matter. So TikTok.com @MultimediaJay. Are we getting views on TikTok from it yet, or is everything too new to have been picked up by the systems? We're talking literally nothing is tabulated yet. So nothing has any views yet, so green flag, YouTube Shorts versus TikTok. Let's see how you square off with this clip. So here's what I've been doing with YouTube Shorts. Of course, my channel does have the short shelf that has recently been added. It's an extra playlist. Why don't we put that on screen, actually? Let's link up to Firefox. Try not to link to Live Control Room, which it's probably going to do. Embarrassed by YouTube. Thank you very much. So YouTube folks, YouTubers may have seen this short shelf appear over on their channel recently, and that basically adds on to whatever playlist you have. The fun part is this gives me an extra playlist above and beyond the 10 element limit. So I was like, initially I was going to delete it. I was like, what's this? And I was like, nah, well, might as well. If people want to see, the YouTube Shorts experiment and just how wild the numbers are, this one's brand new and hasn't really had any views tabulated yet, but 120 views, 37 views, 623 views, 1,400 views on a gaming video. That's wild for this channel. Tuxedo Goes Boom hit 600 views, and then the Duke Nukem Forever processors, more obscure, only did 31. So it's all over the map. But on TikTok, things are a lot steadier in terms of the progress and things like that. So, then again, TikTok is the more established player with regards to these short videos. These little short videos that people can view on their smartphones and go through lightning rounds of being introduced to new creators. And in the case of the Shorts interface, if you watch YouTube Shorts on a phone, you can actually sub to people directly from the YouTube Short. Now here's the fun part. Let's go back to Firefox. Here's the fun part about YouTube Shorts. They are just YouTube-y enough. Let's click over to it. YouTube Shorts are just YouTube-y enough that you can actually use them as launch pads for longer form stuff. So let's stop this at 49 seconds. Here's the end screens that I'm using. So there, in this case, because this came from a Wacky World of MultimediaJay from the beginning of 2020, there's a link that someone can tap. There's a picture here someone can tap to see the full length of the computer tinkering. And also we could put something algorithmic down here, which right now it's showing that pizza video I did a while back. So this is, of course, not a TikTok thing because TikTok is TikTok, but over on YouTube, the YouTube iteration of short videos allows you to put in a little tiny end screen with room for 2 elements. So, link to where this came from and a link to something algorithmically generated. And I'm going to go in afterwards and I'm going to fix this end screen so this is centered more properly with the thanks for watching that I now have as just one line. But there you go. So something that you want people to tap over to, which maybe can help with the views on the longer form video if they're interested in seeing more. Then at the bottom, something algorithmically generated from your channel based on what they might be interested in. So if someone stumbled across this return of ribbon cables joke and maybe they were interested in the appliance videos, they might get directed to like the washer and dryer video or something. But the algorithms will come up with something down here, and then I'll pick something for up here. A very simple end screen. I just have to move this down so that it's more nicely centered with thanks for watching, because the centering on these end screens isn't so far off. Hey, you know what? Why don't we fix that? Why don't we just fix that? Let's load it up in YouTube Studio right now. Did that create a... No, it didn't. All right, super bright. I'm going to go to the end screen for this, and let's fix this right now. Firefox. Yeah, there we go. So let's see. Let's just bring this down so it's a little more nicely centered and hit save. Voila! Will that show up right now if I load the video back up? Let's see. Stop it at about... There we go. Oh, that looks pretty nice. Oh, yeah, here we go. That's not so bad after all. So, of course, monetization's limited because it's a 1-minute video. Maybe there'll be a pre-roll, I don't know, but that's... I don't know if YouTube should really go wild with monetization right now because ads cause bounce issues and things like that. And that's one of the things I'm looking at too, because I'm looking over the analytics. Let me actually load some analytics on here. Let's see, bookmarks. Let's check the ad blocker. We'll start with the ad blocker ratios and we'll add some things in here. If I look at the ad revenue though, and the way things are going for 2021, it's on par with where things were a year ago before the lockdowns. But there's one very important thing that the vaccine making the rounds and people going back to work is going to have. I think we're going to see things drop this year. I think that ad revenue on YouTube in 2021 is going to be very sleepy. So one of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be turning off mid-rolls on most of the videos on the channel for a better viewing experience. People want to binge watch stuff, let them have the commercial breaks between videos instead of interrupting the presentation. See, YouTube has a very weird situation on its hands caused by some of their latest technology. I don't know if you want to call them improvements or not. But here's the thing. YouTube right now has a bit of a problem with some unintended consequences of their right to monetize from their latest TOS update, whenever that was. So videos can get ads on them if you're not in the partner program. So now, whereas previously ad revenue was a benefit of being a partner, technically, with the control over the ads that you get when you're in the partner program on YouTube, making less ad revenue than you otherwise would have is more attractive nowadays, because unlike people who are not partnered, you can go in and shut off the mid-rolls, or you can cut them down so that you don't have a situation like that situation that I saw earlier where there was a mid-roll, like multiple mid-rolls in an 8-minute video. That's just too many mid-rolls. How are you able to pay attention to what the video is even about if you have multiple commercial breaks essentially in an 8-minute video? YouTube, way too aggressive. I know YouTube's trying to monetize everything to the hilt, but what they've created is a situation where the advantage that partners will have over people that are not partnered is you can control the amount of advertising. So you can create a better viewing experience for the people that like your stuff by cutting down on the number of ad impressions and saving them for maybe sometimes when there'll be more bang for buck with them. Until YouTube decides to update their systems to go along with this whole thing. I think it would be better actually for YouTube partners to lay off the ads. Because you think about it, there's super chats and there's channel memberships. And when I get some more tech videos on my channel, I will be enabling channel memberships, because channel memberships now are set behind 1,000 subs across the board. It used to be an extremely high amount, like 40,000 subscribers, unless you were a gaming channel, and then you were 1,000 subs, which is how I probably got it early, because I had enough gaming content on my channel to actually flag as a gaming channel and be admitted to that early. But now it's been brought down to where everybody is 1,000 subs and things along those lines. So now 1,000 subscribers unlocks a lot of stuff on YouTube. And what is the subscriber count anyways? It's you impress enough people over a certain amount of time that they click a button. It doesn't matter if they ever watch again. If 1,000 people clicked, congratulations, you've done something. It's like a lifetime score for your channel. So I've never really gone crazy with bugging people to subscribe. I've never liked the idea of bugging people to subscribe, because I think making good stuff is more important than bugging the heck out of people to essentially prop you up instead of putting in the work for it. So, oh, what about your streams? You and your nobody ever watches you type streams. Here's the thing. This is hybrid streaming. I don't stream for hours day after day. I don't stream away for hours on end, maybe 1 to 2 hours tops, similar to a radio show. But one of the benefits is this is all like a giant YouTube video, essentially. So someone can watch this after the fact and not have to arrow around as much. And people are doing that. This is one of the reasons why I want to talk about it matters. Your platform is one thing, but do not, under any circumstances, discount content length. Streams are long-form stuff. Videos are what they are. And then you have shorts, which have brought back the niche of the nice, simple, short YouTube video, thanks to TikTok being the tail that wags the dog. And YouTube, of course, puts their own spin on it with YouTube Shorts and integrates it into the ecosystem. If you're involved on YouTube, you should not be using YouTube as a YouTube answer to TikTok or a YouTube answer to Twitch. All three of these categories of things of stuff you can make have their strengths and weaknesses, and they all can link together with the playlist function, end screens, all kinds of wonderful things that YouTube has put in over the years to unite the platform instead of turning it into this thing of like, oh, you have some streaming, some videos, and some short videos, but they don't really relate to each other very well. It's not what YouTube's going for, as evidenced by the features they've rolled out. I mean, end screens on a YouTube short. Obviously, that's there to use as a launch pad so that when people are doing the lightning round of introducing themselves to all kinds of creators through YouTube Shorts, they can sub to you and maybe check out more stuff. Or better yet, how about you make it easier for them to check out more of your stuff by putting in a little end screen? So they have about 20 seconds or so to tap on something, and if they just want to watch another video, they can swipe. Simple enough. And that's the interesting thing about what TikTok has done. Because when you have a 1 minute max on video length, you can just be poking around on your phone and be introduced to all kinds of new people in just a couple of minutes. You know? The time you spend watching, take for example, you spend an hour watching YouTube videos like you're watching TV at night. You have videos of varying length. So if you're poking around, even going through the algorithm, you're being introduced to people at kind of a moderate rate and stuff. So you may not find anyone you really want to ever watch again. It might be like TV all over again, and TV would be limited in the same manner because of its time slots. But you spend an hour on your phone or smart TV just watching stuff, and it's 1 minute tops, 60 creators or more that you're introduced to. That should get the gears turning. You know, people put streaming on a pedestal. Be a streamer. Why? Because you took too much influence from Twitch, a platform that largely just has live streams, except maybe clips and stuff. But have you ever actually tried to watch Twitch clips the way you would watch YouTube videos? Let's do that again, actually. Why don't we do that right now? Let's go to SFan's channel, twitch.tv/SFanTV. Let's just go there right now. Let's mute the site because he's actually live right now. Let me actually go through and let's go to his videos. Let me see the clips and let's just play. Let me see here. Show me Twitch clips, please. I want to see the clips. We're going to start with one with 45,000 views. All right, you ready? The big thing I'm interested in, let's put it on screen here. Let's turn chat off. I don't want to see what kind of weird stuff people are memeing about. Let's switch over to the browser here. I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So the first clip is called Stream Drama with Ms. Kiff and some other stuff. Browser. Actually, you know what? Let's load it up in React mode instead. It's showing the wrong thing. Not Mozilla. Shut that off. There we go. Let's load up Avast Secure here. And actually, let's see. Let's load Avast Secure. Here's SFan. Let's zoom in on the title of this thing. Let's see. We have Twitch loaded in here. So let's bring this down to about here. Let's move a few things around. I mostly want to see the title, and I want to see the end screen that Twitch has when you complete watching some video. So probably this will be good enough. Probably around, say, here or so. A little bit of Hassan there. Where's SFan's camera? There he is. Well, he's not going to be on screen for this. Let's put this up in React mode. Keep an eye, and let's take out who clipped it, Keep an eye on, actually, yeah, let's just do it to this, and let's make this whole thing bigger. What matters the most is the title. Stream drama with Mizkif, Ludwig, Aiden Ross, Hassan, and S-Fan. I'm not even going to watch these. I'm going to skip to the end so we can get an end screen and see what that looks like. All right, so everything's muted. We're not going to bother with any sound or anything. All right, let's get to the end. Boom. Can we see the... All right. So watch S-Fan TV live. He's playing GTA. Is there an up next thing? What does this bounce me to? Does it bounce me to his stream? Oh, there is no automatic play. Yeah, there is no automatic play here. You can watch the rest of the stream, and it's not doing it up next in blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's pick a streamer who's not online. How about Asmongold? That'd probably be good here. Let's do that. Let's load up Asmongold's channel. Twitch.tv. Is he live as well? I don't think he streams in the evening. Twitch.tv/Asmongold. All right, let me load up Asmongold's channel. He is not live. Let's try and go on a clips. Let's try and watch some clips. We're trying to watch Twitch clips the same way. Load, stop. We're trying to watch Twitch clips the same way that you would binge watch YouTube videos. The last time I tried doing this, it didn't work very well. React mode, TS, remember that title. All right, let's see if this works. Or did Twitch turn this off? Let's see here. I'm being covered up by that. Holy crap. Hey, this is supposed to be React mode here. So let's actually shrink this down. Let's shrink this down and make it like ultra wide format. Let's make it like about this size. All right, keep an eye mostly on the title, that TS down in the corner. All right, we're gonna play this. It's gonna be muted. Let's skip to the end. Da 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 da. It's not even there anymore. It's Birthday Boy and continue watching. There is no up next in. Let's play along. Keep an eye on the titles. We're gonna keep going through these Asmongold clips here. Birthday Boy, click. All right, here's Birthday Boy. What is recommended at the end of this clip? Classic Andes. All right, so we got a third one now. What's recommended at the end of Classic Andes? Back to Birthday Boy. There you go. Twitch is still doing it. There it is. So I'm just going to keep clicking this with it off screen right now. Just click to the end. Classic Andes. Click to the end. What's it going to recommend to me now? Birthday Boy. So now I'm being bounced between two clips. There is nothing that is showing me stuff that I haven't watched yet. It literally just puts me in a loop with two Twitch clips. There you go. So, a lot of this depends on whether or not somebody is live. Come on, there you go. A lot of this depends on whether or not somebody's live or not. And if they're not live, and you're trying to just see, hey, what's the hot stuff they've been doing lately, Twitch's clip system doesn't even rotate you through a bunch of stuff. And this was months ago when I first spotted this. What the heck, Twitch? Don't you people realize that your clips interface is your answer to TikTok? And that TikTok has made waves so much that YouTube made YouTube Shorts in response? And people wonder why I relegate my Twitch channel to a second channel and I don't do much with it. Really now? All right. But that's the thing. People put streaming on a pedestal. People put Twitch on a pedestal. And it shows their influence from Twitch and what Twitch has done to streaming. Crazy. But what does Twitch have? Twitch has your live. That's it. There's terrible or no support for everything else you can do on Twitch. Uploads, they're there, but that's the extent of it. And even clips. We just saw it. It's still going on. You'll get sent in a loop between a few Twitch clips. So, if I've been introduced to a new streamer, they're not online. I'm like, let's see what more stuff they're doing. I have to manually poke around and watch stuff. The algorithm isn't going to show me all of their stuff based on what I haven't watched yet. that is still a problem. I can't see a lightning round of someone's best moments in the clip system. This is one of the things Harris Heller's been talking about for a while. Twitch needs to do more with clips. And people are bringing it up. Browsable clips. Who cares about browsable clips? Show me an autoplay algorithm that constantly shows me different stuff to watch instead of looping me between 2 or 3 clips that are the most recent. Crazy. But that's the world we live in. Here we are in an environment where you have this potential if you do shorter stuff. And let me bring up something extremely important that I've mentioned previously with regards to this internet stuff. Sometimes if you want to keep yourself level-headed and stay focused on what matters, you can't be looking at the internet like it's all there is. Look for an offline equivalent. So what's the offline equivalent of you are a streamer, you focus on streaming, and all you ever do is stream? And everything revolves around streaming. What's that the equivalent of in the offline world? People wondering why their streams aren't getting a lot of concurrence, or they're not getting a lot of views, or whatever, or they're not growing through streaming. What's the offline equivalent of that? Imagine if you met somebody. You didn't know who they were. You knew next to nothing about them. Looked like they wanted to be your friend. And you're like, yay, nice to meet you. You don't know them at all. You've just met them. Would you hang out with them all day long? Would you be like, let's put a big itinerary together and let's hang out all day tomorrow, even though we barely know each other? No, that's ridiculous. You're friends with somebody, you go about your business. Maybe you have lunch sometime or whatever, or you do like little things and whatnot. And then maybe when they're one of your better friends, you might be like, yeah, let's all have this big like road trip or something and just, go out somewhere all day and go have some fun somewhere, go out to a club or go to a bar or something along those lines. Or how about, if you want to make this even weirder, let's put this in the context of romance. Two folks just met each other. They think they might have a crush on each other. Let's spend all day together. Does that ever happen without weirding somebody out and like, ghosted? So the idea of, oh, you barely met somebody, you want to spend a lot of time with them all of a sudden, even though you barely know them. It's nuts in the offline world. But if you're a streamer and you want people to discover you, suddenly that's okay? You're a streamer, you do largely like 6-hour, 7-hour streams or 4-hour streams or whatever, and somebody who has no idea about you, they're gonna want to spend hours and hours of their day watching you? It's a great way to keep your head on straight. Compare the internet version of something with the offline equivalent. Now let's look at TikTok. I often joke about TikTok being like the elevator pitch of online media. Those of you that don't know the formal business term elevator pitch, it means you're in an elevator with somebody, you have 45 seconds to sell something before they get off the elevator. Can you do it? My alma mater used to have an annual competition for elevator pitches. All these people that would do their darndest to try and sell an idea in like 45 seconds to a minute. So, all these people that would get in on this competition every single time, every single year and whatnot that they had it, all this fun stuff. So TikTok, think like, for example, speed dating. That's probably the closest analogy to it. You have a bunch of people, you get introduced to them, maybe you spend like a few minutes tops, and you're like, okay, out of all these people, which of them do I want to see again? Or how about just meeting people at a social event? Odds are, if you're walking up to somebody at some kind of social gathering that you don't know and you introduce yourself and you seem to be, oh, maybe I can be friends with this person. You're not going to be like, hey, let's go off and let's spend hours together for the rest of the day. It's stupid. No, you'd have a little like 5-minute discussion. You'd break the ice, maybe see if you want to talk about any more stuff, and then move on with your day. So this kind of view on things, is a perfect parallel to YouTube Shorts / TikTok videos and streams. Why do you think that you can stream for hours and hours and hours a day, and people are just going to randomly decide to spend hours and hours and hours when they barely even know you and you haven't had much of a way of introducing yourself besides, watch my 6-hour Call of Duty stream? That's the thing. Even my streams, 1 to 2 hours tops, shorter than what people say I should be doing. You should be streaming for at least 3 to 4 hours. Why? Who's going to watch any of that, any significant amount of that? And you see it in the numbers, too. Again, numbers breaking through people's propaganda. Go on Sully Gnome, go on Twitch Tracker. Look for the streams where there's a big difference between average concurrence and views. You're going to find the biggest differences in the longest streams because guess what? Only your most dedicated of fans are going to spend live hours and hours and hours of their day, completely cancel their plans to watch your entire stream. It's crazy. So there we go. People barely know you. You're better off entering some kind of lightning round. TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Not barreling away Twitch grinding as a streamer. And this is once again yet another way in which streaming is put on a pedestal that it doesn't belong on. And we have to ask ourselves, why is streaming on this pedestal? Why? Why is streaming elevated so highly like it is? Because of Ninja? Because of Pokimane? Because of Nick Merckx? Because of any streamer you could rattle off? Maybe even someone like Markiplier or PewDiePie or Dr. Disrespect? Really? No. It's the influence of Twitch. A business that has decided to focus almost entirely on live streaming. And by doing this, to the point where we've tested it out. We just looked at that earlier. You can't really use Twitch all that well as a video platform unless you do a ton of manual clicking. Even clips. Twitch has had months to do something about this since I first observed it last summer. You go to try and binge watch clips, you'll get cycled between a few of them over and over again. The system will not keep track of what you haven't seen yet, unlike on YouTube, which is far more binge watch friendly. So, what does Twitch offer? Live. So because Twitch is almost exclusively focused on live, or that's the best way to do things on Twitch, is anybody live? Nope. Okay, I'm out of here. Not too worth it to really click around or do other stuff, unless you really, 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 really like a streamer and you want to like catch their VOD or something. Because of this, Twitch has basically signed itself up to be a platform that is primarily, they won't want to admit this, to be a platform that is pretty much defined by the weaknesses of live streaming in general. Someone who barely knows you, are they going to want to spend hours watching your live streams all the time when they don't even have any idea why they should even be watching? Or should you be focusing more on stuff that's shorter? Give people something they can like, and maybe, you know, if they really, really like you, then they'll see you do some kind of live discussion or something, or play a video game for 6 hours or something. But you don't skip steps on the ladder. And even YouTube got caught doing that. I mean, what has YouTube been doing with some of the changes to the algorithms recently? They've been embracing a lot more long-form stuff, longer videos. And some people have gone overboard trying to make longer videos and added a ton of fluff to their videos. Sponsorship elements, in-video advertising, overly long calls to action, whatever it takes to cross that threshold and get to have mid-rolls, or anything of that sort. So YouTube was going in the direction of things were getting more complicated, longer, and sometimes unnecessarily complicated. The length limits on the videos were removed. The pushing towards streaming, which are essentially longer YouTube videos, the way YouTube does streaming. Longer, bigger, longer. Pile up that watch time. Get people, oh, look, this person has so many watch hours, and we can serve more mid-roll ads because the more video content there is that people are watching, the more ad impressions our systems can insert to make more money. All of this goes in this direction. And then there's a successful platform that pops up that does the polar opposite. 1 minute tops. Smartphone video. Vertical video. Can't even have proper widescreen. It's got to be vertical. 1 minute tops. And it makes waves. Just like in the early days of YouTube, television, half-hour shows, hour shows, maybe 2-hour specials, more and more commercial breaks, more fluff, less stuff. Here comes YouTube. Boom, it's someone's cat doing a backflip. It's someone's trip to the zoo, like the first YouTube video. It's somebody getting straight to the point of what the video's about. You spend a couple of minutes watching and you get something good out of it instead of the fluff that was going on TV at the time with the fake reality shows, too many commercial breaks, garbage. Shorter videos disrupted the YouTube ecosystem as well. And now you have streamers who want to find some way, anyway, to get involved with TikTok. Boy, is that a shock to the system. You normally stream for hours every day, and now you want to find out, well, what can I make into a 1 minute long video? As if Twitch clips haven't been a thing all this time. What are your most popular Twitch clips? Get a darn video editor, convert them to the vertical format, and put them on TikTok. They have the length. Send them around. Or make your own TikToks. Who said you had to start over? Same with YouTube Shorts. Give people a way to explore what it is, more of what you do if they want to see more. Crazy idea, I know, right? Binge watching? That's only been a thing in the Netflix era. Years at this point. Largely since Netflix started doing more stuff with streaming and got away from the old DVD model. Hey, what more evidence do we need that videos, short videos, and streams all have their ups and downs, and when you should do what depends on, where you're at. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to focus on streaming as much, except for gaming and maybe some off-the-cuff discussions like this. I want to get back to videos. There are tech projects that need to get done. And I've been running out of things to stream about. The only reason I'm here having this discussion today is because this idea popped up very, very recently. Posted on Twitter. And I wanted to just upend this discussion about, once again, the latest way in which people are trying to use YouTube as a means to an end. Some of it is about the platform. But there's also an element that's about what specifically you're making. Let's, again, go back to an offline example without all this internet stuff. Movies. What determines whether you want to watch a movie? Number one, you have to know about it. Number two, then what? Someone has a good opinion of it? Okay. So someone tells you about it. Publicity. It's cheap, like in the Walmart bargain bin? Yeah, that's part of that. And how about, the actors are good. So there's probably some good acting. Unless, if you didn't see a review, oh, well, this person's a really good actor, so maybe they did really well here. You recognize the talent. That third one, let's think about it for a second. If you don't recognize the talent, are you going to buy the movie? If you don't recognize the IP, what the movie actually is, will you buy the movie? If some no-name actors that you have no idea about are in a feature film that's 2.5 hours long, that you've never heard of and you have no idea about whether or not you should watch it, nothing else, nothing appeals to you, nothing is hooking you, nothing is making you want to actually buy the movie, you're going to watch it. You're going to buy that DVD. You're going to buy that Blu-ray. Probably not. So let's suppose one of those no-name actors was, let's suppose one of those no-name actors wanted you to eventually watch that movie they were in. How do they bridge this gap with you and introduce themselves to you? Maybe you look at something shorter. Maybe you find some clip on the internet of them at some open mic night doing a 5-minute improv routine or something. Something shorter, something that's not as big of a risk to your precious free time. And you're like, hey, this person's jokes are funny. You get to know them. Then next thing you know, you're moving up to something a little longer. Then maybe you might want to buy that movie later on. Okay, they were in a feature film. Well, I know who they are now. I like their jokes. Let's see how they did as this role in this movie. Now I buy that DVD. See how this works? There's an element of risk-reward when it comes to the way people treat online media. Folks don't know who you are, or they don't know that you're any good at something or whatever. They have no reason to watch any of what you do. Doesn't matter how nice your production value is. Unless they're impressed by how good your stream looks. But it's real easy, for people to have a good-looking stream, just need good internet and some good equipment and know how to use it. Doesn't have to be the best or most expensive equipment. You just have to know what you're doing. Don't be one of those umpteenth streamers who puts the microphone way the heck out here and it picks up your keyboard, so it's click, clack, click, clack, click, clack the entire time they're playing something. That, among other things, not hard. Not hard whatsoever to get people to stop by and see what you're up to. But there is a relationship there's a risk-reward thing here. People who don't have any idea about you, may not know why they should even watch you any length of time. Are they going to go into something, live control room crashed. Reload. Okay, let's reload. Oh, it just lagged for a second. Reload. This didn't do anything last time, so I hope it doesn't. There we go. Yeah, huh? Live control room struggling a little, huh? There we are, back in business. So yeah, it's just there is a relationship between length and whether or not there's a risk-reward thing. If the only way that you exist as a content creator, as a persona, as anything, is through gigantic stream VODs, people have to really have nothing better to do in order to check out what it is you're doing above everybody else. But on the polar opposite side of that, the TikTok stuff of today, it's a great way to be introduced to a lot of people in a short period of time, especially with the way YouTube has integrated it, where you can sub to people directly from the YouTube Shorts interface. So yeah, think about that. And the offline equivalent. Would you want to be introduced to somebody or whatnot? Would you go from barely knowing somebody to spending hours with them? Not as friends, not as romantic partners, not as anything? Then why the heck do you think it's going to happen on the internet? That's the thing. And that's where I think that this whole idea of videos, streams, and short videos, why you have to pick what to do when and not do all of one and none of the other. So, it's just a matter of people talk about building a brand and they dehumanize the whole process. What you're really doing is building relationships, even though they're parasocial. People have to like you and have a reason to want to watch what it is you're doing. And when they watch that one thing you do and you do something else, then you start working on getting them to watch something else that you're doing. So what it fundamentally comes down to is people. People and relationships with others. There are no shortcuts, and there certainly is no, in any way, trying to say you respect people when in reality you believe in some sales funnel where everybody is all just potential revenue. So, let me just take a look at some of my own numbers right now. Because I can tell you that people talk about, oh yeah, well your streams, da-da-da. Nobody watches them. Look at your concurrence. Well, you know what? There's some really big creators on YouTube who get terrible numbers on streams. Fundamentally, not because of anything they're doing, but just the differences between streams and videos. Even with, stream replays. If you design everything so that your replays are worth watching, guess what? People are going to watch them. I'm looking right now, even monetized with mid-rolls. I'm looking at view numbers that are on par with non-tech videos for streams. Stream replays. Oh, nobody goes to Twitch to watch VODs. Depends on, what exactly everything... Yeah, it depends. It depends on what exactly you have. What is the experience like? Do you have your show flow in order? And I'm not just talking about the physical document, which I understand is the thing in television, but in terms of the organization of what it is that you're doing, is it worth people's time to listen to you like you're on the radio or something? Yeah, that sort of stuff. Let me open up advanced mode on analytics, and let me just get some basic last 28-day things here. Let me just take off a lot of these metrics that I don't really need to see. Drop it down to, it's going to reload every single time. All right, take off subscribers, take off the revenue, take off the ad impressions, take off the impressions click-through rate, and we'll just start with views. And then plus, and let's go to watch hours. Views and watch hours, sort by watch time, and look at these totals by video. So for the last 28 days, we might as well just put this on screen here. Actually, why don't we do last 90 days? And let's blend together some things here. So, watch time hours by video, Let's just put the total on so you just see the total and things like that. Maybe we should just put views. We just do views or something. Maybe just do views or things along those lines. Or better yet, just skip the chart entirely. We don't need the chart. So let's sort by watch time. What are people spending a lot of time watching? So here's what gets interesting. This is what? This is Firefox? Do we have the right browser in here? No, we have Live Control Room linking up. Fix up Live Control Room here. Minimize our Live Control Room and see if it's smart enough to pick up the other Firefox. It is not. Thanks, OBS. It's still looking for the Legend of Mana thing. Boom. Here we go. Let's zoom this in. Let's just zoom this in here and let's see. So here's watch time for last 90 days. You have Uglier Side George Foreman grills, the washer and dryer video representing hours, decent amounts of hours in and of themselves, and things like that. Let me just get my Live Control Room back on screen here. There we go. It's zoomed. That Live Control Room is zoomed as well. Look at this. Look at what's going on here. So we got our views last 90 days. 48, 39. So around, say, 30-something views, 30-something watch hours in the span of... So you have Forza Horizon 4, no graphics card, very, very short. That amount corresponds to thousands of views in the last 90 days. Win 8 versus the Delosaurus, you have that. But look at this. When creators' platform brand matters more than their personal brand. It's playing ball with videos that got hundreds of views in terms of watch hours with only 25 views. Then we look at all these streams down here that are hanging around 10 watch hours in the span of last 90 days. And what we see here is less views, but watch time that plays ball with videos that are getting a lot more views. So what we have here is basically a sliding scale. You might get a lot... I see the opposite on YouTube Shorts and things like that. Let me fix the zoom in this window here. I'll see lots of views on YouTube Shorts and things like that, but it's also very short stuff, hence the name YouTube Shorts. And then lower views on streams and stream replays that rack up watch time because people that are interested in what it is that I'm doing, even after the fact, listening to the stream afterwards, will listen for minutes at a time. Like it's a radio broadcast, or they're re-listening to a radio broadcast. So, you're talking about the difference between the number of people who can be introduced to what it is you're doing, and of course, how much time each person is spending on what it is that you're doing. So you have to look at the length of, you do have to look at the length on stuff like this. It's been cool seeing the streams doing well for themselves. Also, the revenue's been there too with the ad impressions and the CPMs and stuff. I've been surprised by a stream getting like 10 views in a month But there's enough watch time in there for there to be enough ad impressions that the ad revenue plays ball with the tech videos. Does that mean I'm going to do nothing but live streams? Absolutely not. Matter of fact, I think there's a massive dearth and a massive shortcoming of this channel right now in terms of not doing enough videos. And that's the thing. Don't be a streamer on YouTube. You're limiting yourself. Don't be a TikTok person on YouTube. You're limiting yourself. YouTube does a wide range of stuff, and each type, streams, videos, short videos has their strengths and weaknesses. Play the formats to their strengths. I've been saying that for a while. Play the platforms to their strengths, play the formats to their strengths, and now we can add to that, play the lengths by their strengths. That actually kind of rhymes. Lengths, strengths, blah, 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 blah. So, videos have their place, short videos have their place, streams have their place. And within streaming, you have the difference between hangout streaming and hybrid streaming as well. I don't do any hangout streams because people don't stop by. But the views pop up after the replay becomes available. I think if I did all hangout streams, the streams wouldn't do as well because people would know there's a lot of downtime. There really is no real showmanship or anything. You're just whatever happens, happens. Unless you edit the heck out of those to remove the dull bits, people know that a stream replay is going to have a lot of stuff they're going to have to arrow past, and they might just get frustrated and leave. As opposed to what I'm doing. So yeah. Oh, your streams are too short. Yeah, that's because they're to the point. They don't mess around. I'm not walking away for 10 minutes on a regular basis to answer the door, order food, or whatever it is. So yeah. We've talked about platforms before, talked about formats before, but now we can talk about lengths as well. And given what has happened with TikTok being the tail that wags the dog, so to speak, with YouTube doing the YouTube Shorts thing, so much to think about. And I think I'll get to thinking about that stuff too. The night is young, still plenty of stuff to do, and there's projects that have been sitting around for far too long. There's projects that sit around for far too long. By the way, this stream has already gotten 15 views just from being live. So, there we go. Give people a reason to tune in after the fact, they will tune in after the fact. But platforms are one thing, formats are one thing, but we got to look at lengths as well. And this is the part where everything starts getting too redundant. So let's get to some of the other stuff that I wanted to do. Plenty of other things I have to do this weekend, and also tech projects sitting around. I got to figure out what to do about this internet bottleneck, especially with the promo that's going on right now for the internet service that will be faster, even though I don't need the speed, but it'll cost less per month than the regular price for the tier that I think I want to get. First, I have to figure out, though, what that tier should be. And the only way to do that is to see how much I can improve the situation with the technical bottleneck that exists on my home network. So that's a tech project to work on. There's stuff in the box to work on. There's computer stuff to work on. All kinds of other stuff to do besides stream. And quite frankly, we just got done saying that grinding away... We've been saying so much that grinding away streaming is a stupid idea. So let's not grind away streaming. Practicing what you preach. What a concept. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.